Good afternoon. This is a CBS2 News Update. I'm Dana Tyler, and we begin with an incredible rescue. Moments after this shocking photograph was taken of a baby crawling across the street in Lakewood, New Jersey, a man stopped traffic Saturday night to rescue the baby who somehow had gotten out of her house through an unsecured screen door. CBS2's Meg Baker just spoke with that hero.
Hi there, I'm with Corey Cannon. He took the photo that now is like the big shocker, jaw-dropping photo of a baby crossing the street in Lakewood, New Jersey. You were on the job, working. You weren't sure what was in the middle of the road.
No.
Just describe, your shock.
Again, wasn't exactly sure what it was or, what was going on, but once I saw the baby move, just my heart stopped, and I knew I had to do something, so hopefully I did the right thing.
I think so, and Corey has a 4-month baby at home.
Yes.
And so just seeing that child was able to get out of the house.
Exactly. It's like a shock to the system, but you have to be more aware of your surroundings and be able to pay a little more attention to your children. Mm-hmm. That's basically what it comes down to.
So you stopped traffic.
Yes.
And then what happened?
Got out. Another car actually stopped traffic coming from the other side. I yelled for the neighbors that I saw that were in their yard, playing with their children. Someone actually came over, picked the child up, and again, said it wasn't her child. So we walked her over to the adjacent house, knocked on the door wide open. A toddler came and answered the door initially. Then the adult came. We explained to him what was going on and gave him his daughter back. And hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Busy road.
Yeah, very busy.
You just wanted to bring awareness to this.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a story. We'll have that later today, of course, all day on our website and on television later today, Channel 2 at 5 and 6 p.m. In New York City, police are investigating a hate crime in Brooklyn after 2 men were beaten and left unconscious yesterday by a man who police say used anti-gay slurs. CBS 2's Mark Liverman has more from Williamsburg.
Well, it all happened at 1 o'clock right here Sunday morning. Even at that time, this area was packed with people and cars, but that didn't stop the suspect from attacking. Take a look at who police are looking for. Look closely. Police say this man is wanted for committing a hate crime early Sunday morning, accused of hitting 2 gay men so hard they lost consciousness.
There's a lot of gays who live in this area. I mean, I myself am gay, so that's really unnerving to know that there are people who would go out of their way to just hurt people. That's really shocking to me.
Police say the suspect approached the men who were walking on Metropolitan Avenue right near Union in Williamsburg. He made some anti-gay slurs and then started to attack.
You think of New York as being, especially, in Brooklyn, as being a place where there's not those kind of feelings in this day and age, but I don't know. It's really messed up.
Police say the man punched the 34-year-old victim in the face, which knocked him out. Then he grabbed the 29-year-old victim and threw him against a tree, which knocked him out too.
I think it's awful. I mean, no. I mean, I've never heard of that happening here.
I always feel very safe. It's always busy around here. It's never desolate, and now I'm going to rethink that.
Both of those victims were rushed to the hospital. One of them recovering from a fractured shoulder. The other suffered a broken finger. While some nearby residents say they're now looking over their shoulder. Others say if they let this suspect's attack scare them, he wins.
I will not allow those people to try to intimidate us just for existing. I have just as much right to be here as they do.
Take one last look at that suspect. He was last seen wearing a black shirt, beige pants, and black and white sneakers. And so far, police haven't said how that suspect got away or which direction he headed in. In Williamsburg, Brooklyn, Mark Liverman, CBS 2 News.
President Trump is in Manhattan for this week's 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly. At a meeting earlier today, the president spoke about the drug epidemic on a global scale and specifically fighting the rise of opioid addiction here in the United States. Tomorrow, the general debate begins, and President Trump and the other heads of state will each address the Assembly's entire 193 member nations. This is a gridlock alert week in the city with President Trump, the First Lady, and members of the UN General Assembly all here in town, so expect major traffic congestion. The Department of Transportation estimates driving in Manhattan will take 3 times longer than usual this week. There are frozen zones around the United Nations, along with other East Side Street closures. But also be ready for stopped traffic in other parts of the city as world leaders move around to get from here to there. New York commuters are doing their best.
Like tomorrow I got to take the train to drop them off at school because I'm not going to go through this again.
I have a 3-part commute, bike to subway to bus. It'll take me about an hour. It's kind of a big imposition on the neighborhood, but it's also a big commitment on the part of New York to make sure this happens.
And if the traffic seems worse today than in prior years, traffic experts say it's because average speeds in Manhattan have hit historic lows. The DOT encourages commuters to leave their cars at home and instead walk, bike, or take mass transit. We have a full list of the street closures on CBSNewYork.com. The deadline to remove the state's controversial I Love New York highway signs is 1 week from today, October 1st. The federal government says the blue signs are illegal and some of the writing is distracting to drivers. There's no love lost between the feds and the Cuomo administration over this issue. It's been going on for years. If the state does not take the signs down by Monday, New York loses $14 million in federal funding. The state is negotiating to keep 122 of the 500 I Love New York signs. An update now on the Pelham Parkway Park in the Bronx. As we reported last night, the project to beautify the park turned into a playground for doing drugs. But now the city is taking action. CBS 2's Lisa Rosner reports.
Demanding answers, getting action. Less than a day after our story on how homeless have taken over the Pelham Parkway Park, you see behind me, there is Parks Enforcement, a vehicle here as well as an officer keeping a close eye on the activity here. Residents tell me they haven't seen something like this since June. They've been asking for the city to come and help them for 4 months now. As we reported yesterday, as you can see here, this rose garden behind me, they put in 50 roses just a month ago, and the city spent $1.5 million to renovate this park, opening it back up just at the beginning of the summer. But residents say they haven't been able to enjoy it because homeless people have been hanging out here, sleeping here, leaving their dirty clothes here, and doing drugs. There were just 2 arrests this weekend for people doing K2 right here in the park. Well, we are going to speak with the councilman who represents this area to find out what is being done from here to make sure that this park stays in a condition where residents can enjoy it.
It's our first Monday of autumn, and it sure feels like fall today. Here's John Elliott with the forecasts for our next few days.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Just like that, it feels like fall. Woo! So I know, yesterday we hit 66. Today we're close to it. It's blustery, kind of a raw wind out of the east-northeast. And then look at Wednesday. So yesterday's 66, felt like the 10th of October. Wednesday, where are my shorts? 81 is going to feel like August. So we're going to go forward, backward, forward, backward. We've got a summer feel and then some spring-like showers on Wednesday, too. So we've got a lot to deal with. You've got this front to the south. The wind out of the east-northeast brings in these cool conditions with more and more clouds. 67. We'll have to work to hit it. And then overnight tonight, it turns wet. Now, it's after midnight. So that is okay for evening activities. But again, Sukkot means some folks outside. That means it's wet outside. And then tomorrow, it is wet during the day with some soakers. Models hinting at some heavier rain in the morning, but still showers right through the afternoon and into Tuesday night. Today, 67, relatively quiet. Could see a stray shower south. It's just kind of a raw, cloudy day. Coastal flood advisory kicks in tonight through the evening high tide cycle for the Jersey Shore. And then Tuesday, not a treat at all, 61. And remember, then you've got this warm front on Wednesday. So what happens on Wednesday is you're going to see possibility of some strong thunderstorms in the afternoon. Sorry.
Happening today, Bill Cosby is in a Pennsylvania courtroom for his sentencing hearing. The 81-year-old arrived this morning at the courthouse in Norristown, which is just outside Philadelphia. He was convicted in April of drugging and assaulting Andrea Constand at his home in 2004. So far, a state psychologist has testified that he believes Cosby is highly likely to re-offend. Cosby is permitted to speak, but his legal team has not said whether he will. It's also unclear whether Constand will testify. Bill Cosby faces up to 30 years in prison. Given his age, the judge could only give him probation. Cosby's legal team plans to appeal regardless of the sentence. Surveillance video shows 3 suspects who pretended to be police officers and then robbed a man 2 weeks ago. A 22-year-old man says he was approached by the suspects on a Manhattan D train and he was asked to buy drugs. He refused. One suspect allegedly tried to take his money, but he resisted, and then the suspects followed him to Sunset Park, Brooklyn, where police say he was forced into an alley where the suspects identified themselves as undercover officers. One allegedly pulled a knife and another punched him. They stole more than $1,200 in cash. Tiger Woods is back on top of the golf world, winning his first championship in 5 years. Woods won the Tour Championship in Georgia yesterday, and he said this 80th win is much more than a number.
It means a lot more to me now, in the sense because I didn't know if I'd ever be out here again, doing this again.
In recent years, Woods has struggled with personal scandals and a variety of injuries, enduring several back surgeries. He's now 2 wins away from the all-time PGA record of 82 tournament championships, that record held by Sam Snead. That's your CBS 2 update. Stay with us on CBSNewYork.com, along with CBS New York on our Facebook and Twitter pages. For the latest news as it happens, I'm Dana Tyler. See you on television later today. CBS 2 News at 6 o'clock. Have a good Monday.